Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Habib Laksmana Prima. I'm a doctor and I'm a master degree student of hospital administration at Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta University. And today I would like to review a journal about nanotherapeutic strategy that engages cytotoxic and immunosuppressive activity for the treatment of cancer recurrent following organ transplantation. So this journal is indexed by Scopus Q1 and published by eBiomedicine on 9 May 2023. So we will start with the summary at the background. Long-term treatment with immunosuppression is necessary to attenuate allograft rejection following organ transplantation. Rapamycin or REPA is a clinically approved immunosuppressive agent with antitumor activity that is considered beneficial in preventing post-transplant tumor recurrence. However, the clinical outcome of REPA is impeded by acquired drug resistance and poor oral bioavailability. And then the methods we will continue inside this journal later, and then the interpretation. The nanoparticle-based therapy effectively targets tumor while maintaining sufficient immunosuppression, suggesting it could significantly improve survival rates for organ transplant patients at high risk of cancer recurrence. The introduction, organ transplantation is now the preferred and optimal treatment for end-stage organ failure. Many transplant candidates have a history of cancer. For example, hepatocellular carcinoma accounts for 15 until 50% of liver transplant at most centers. Treating this patient is difficult because the long-term immunosuppression required after the transplantation increase the risk of recurrence. Rapamycin mTOR inhibitor is a class of immunosuppression processing antitumor activity. RAPA is promising medication widely used in recipients with previous carcinoma. Several retrospective analyses have reported the protective effect of rapamycin in terms of post-transplant HCC recurrence. The methods that used in uh, this journal, there is a several methods. The Rapal-loaded therapeutic nanoparticles were prepared by a solvent displacement method, and then the drug released from SRNPS was examined as previously described. The nanoparticle solution were gently shaken at 37 degrees Celsius, and the releasing media was harvested to perform UV-Vis spectrometer analysis to determine the content of released drug. After harvesting, tissue were fixed in 4% formaldehyde for a week and then embedded in paraffin. The embedded tissue were then sectioned for histological analysis and then scoring with the Suzuki score criteria. After that, mice were further randomly divided into six groups and received different treatments. The first one saline, second CPT-11, third REPA, fourth CPT-11 and REPA, five SNPS, and six SRNPS. Well, this journal is a quantitative design, so the quantitative data presented as means positive negative SDS for hematological studies and serology analysis. The results are presented as mean to max. The normality of variables was determined by the Savaro-Wheel test for normally distributed variables. Students t-test and one-way ANOVA followed by two-case HSD were used to assess statistical significance between two groups and among multiple groups, respectively. For variables that were non-normally distributed, the comparison of data were performed employing the Mann-Whitney U-test. Survival of recipient was analyzed by Kaplan-Meier method with log-rank test. After that, we will go into the result. So in the result, there is a several result over here. The first one is the preparation in vitro characterization. So SRNPS were spherical and exhibited monomodal distribution and low polydispersity index, which favored passive tumor accumulation via the enhanced permeability and retention or EPR effects as shown in the figure. And then the second result is the writer in vitro cytotoxicity of SRNPS. The writer systematically evaluated antitumor activity of SRNPS in three SCC cell lines. The results show that co-therapy with REPA and SN38 achieve a stronger inhibitory effect on SCC cells than single treatment of REPA or SN38. It is also shows synergistic effect of SRNPS in antitumor efficiency. The third is antitumor efficacy of SRNPS in orthotrophic HCC model. Administration of SRNPS show substantial tumor growth inhibition activities compared to other treatment. Treatment with SRNPS significantly reduce proportion of proliferating cell of SCC and show increased rate of apoptosis activities. The fourth is SRNPS maintain high efficiency in preventing immunological rejection. So, anti-rejection properties of SRNPS in allogeneic orthotrophic liver transplant or OLT model was observed. Both SRNPS and RAPA effectively attenuate post-transplant allograft damage, reduce weight loss, prolong survival time of recipient. And then the next result is SRNPS simultaneously inhibited tumor growth and allograft rejection in cancer transplant model. SRNPS achieve enhance efficacy against tumors and maintain satisfactory immunosuppressive activity, and thus have a great potential to prevent the recurrence of post-transplant malignancy. After that, biodistribution of SRNPS, the SRNPS exhibited great accumulation in the tumor region compared of free SNMPS. This proved the excellent properties of biodistribution in SRNPS tumor targeting ability. And the last result is systemic toxicity of SRNPS in vivo. So hematological parameters and organ system toxicity is a paramount step forward clinical translation. And the results show that no significant difference in this one. Well, the discussion, this work present a product-based nanomedicine that delivered both SN38 and REPA and assist substantially promoted efficiency against tumor with no additional toxicity and maintain satisfactory immunosuppressive activity. With the construction of rational therapeutic strategies, standardized treatment following OT may be developed to improve the survival outcome of patients with a high risk of tumor recurrence. Well, that's the review of this journal, and from my opinion itself, in Indonesia, translating this research into clinical practice might take a while for its development, including further in vivo research, assembly, storing management, cost-value ratio, and other aspects. But this showed that post-transplant HCC patient risk of recurrence could be reduced significantly through this method. As per 2016, there are 24 liver transplant cases in Indonesia done within Cipto Mangunkusumo Hospital. And by 2024, they done it with a comorbid of cirrhosis and HCC. The future of nanomedicine and its worldwide clinical application might alleviate the burden of cost for the nation's universal healthcare system in treating patients with risk of recurrence malignancy. It could also translate well into improving the quality of life of this patient, assuming that this technology is not get capped by the system nor the cost of therapy. That's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.